Ethereum Classic, what is it and is it a good investment? One of the core ideas behind blockchain technologies is immutability. Immutability means that once a transaction has been recorded on the blockchain, it cannot be erased. This guarantees trust in the decentralized system, especially as there are no middlemen to check and verify transactions. Erasing a transaction would change the blockchain's protocol entirely. What if there was a solid reason for erasing a transaction from the block, such as there being fraudulent transactions, for example? In today's video, we'll examine one of the blockchain ecosystem's most controversial issues, and we'll discuss how it led to the creation of Ethereum Classic. We'll also look at how Ethereum Classic differs from other blockchain projects. Before we continue, I have to say that whatever you do with your money after watching this video is your responsibility. We're here to make educational videos and give you the latest crypto news on this channel. So let's get into it. Before understanding how Ethereum Classic works, we must first understand the circumstances that led to its creation, and that requires a bit of backstory on Ethereum. Ethereum was created by a group of 8 men, including Vitalik Buterin, Gavin Wood of Polkadot, and Charles Hoskinson of Cardano. Vitalik Buterin was the leading man behind the project, and he wrote the first working code for the Ethereum blockchain. At that time, blockchain technology was still very new, and there was already some controversy relating to how it should work. Some early founders believed that the Ethereum blockchain should always remain immutable. Once a transaction had been recorded, it could be erased no matter what happened. Others believed that Ethereum should be designed so that it could be changed in an emergency. These different philosophies were about to undergo a major test, one that would lead to the birth of Ethereum Classic. Soon after Ethereum was launched, Ethereum's founders were working on an idea for the first ever DAO. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, and the idea behind it is very simple. People will come together and contribute money to a pool, which would then be put into a smart contract. In return, these people will receive tokens that will give them the right to vote on how the money in the smart contract is used. The idea was for the DAO to make it easy to fund projects on the Ethereum blockchain. Projects like new cryptocurrencies, decentralized apps, games, and even community projects. The DAO was launched in June 2016. Just a few weeks later, $150 million had been put into the DAO smart contract. Naturally, it would only be possible for some percentage of people in the DAO to agree on certain projects. To solve this problem, the developers of the DAO built into the code what's called a split function. The split function made it possible for people to withdraw their money from the smart contract. They could either put the money back in their wallet or put it into another DAO to fund other projects. The split function had a 28-day waiting period in which the money would be locked after it was withdrawn from the initial DAO. Now this is where things get interesting. It turned out that the split function was not as safe as it should have been. Before its launch, many people complained that the split function was vulnerable to hacks and theft, but the DAO developers brushed off those concerns and assured investors that the split function was safe and that it could not be hacked. Sadly, they couldn't have been more wrong. On June 17, 2016, history was made. The first ever DAO was hacked by an anonymous person or group who drained $50 million from the DAO using the split function. Thanks to the buggy split function, the hacker was able to withdraw more ETH using the same tokens. The stolen ETH was frozen for 28 days before the hacker could withdraw it, which meant that Ethereum developers had 28 days to act. They had 2 options at this moment: make changes to the blockchain and erase the hack, or leave things as they were. Vitalik Buterin wanted to add something to Ethereum's source code that would prevent the hacker from being able to spend the money. However, many of the people involved didn't like that idea. They also didn't like the fact that Vitalik wanted to change the code that easily. This became a very controversial issue for the Ethereum developers. For the majority, including Vitalik Buterin, forking the blockchain and reversing the hack would be better for Ethereum in the long run. A few other founders didn't agree. They felt that forking the blockchain would defeat the purpose of decentralization. Those against forking the blockchain also argued that it wasn't wrong to steal the money since the blockchain's code allowed it to happen. They further said that it was up to the blockchain to prevent any kind of attacks it didn't want. That idea was similar to an argument within the developer community called code is law. Code is law simply means that the code sets up what can or can't happen on the blockchain. The hackers even wrote an open letter claiming that they had done nothing wrong, since they'd exploited a flaw in the blockchain's code. Despite all the code is law arguments, Vitalik and the others who wanted to make changes to Ethereum's network protocol eventually got their way. They rolled back the blockchain and made it look like the hack never happened. Then they returned the money to investors and made other changes that would make sure hacks like that never happened again. So you'd assume that everything went back to normal, right? Unfortunately not. The Code is Law supporters decided they would continue with the original blockchain network where the money was stolen. This meant that there were now two Ethereum blockchains. Vitalik and the Ethereum network kept their trademark name, and the new forked network became what we know today as Ethereum. The unchanged version was renamed Ethereum Classic. Now that we understand how Ethereum Classic was created, let's discuss some key differences between Ethereum Classic and other blockchains. One of the biggest differences between Ethereum Classic and other blockchains is that Ethereum Classic is a deflationary coin. The regular Ethereum that we know and are used to is an inflationary coin. That means that its supply has no limit. Ethereum Classic, on the other hand, is deflationary, just like Bitcoin. It has a fixed amount of coins, about 210,700,000. Ethereum Classic also has this thing where the number of rewards for mining blocks is cut by 20% after every 5 million blocks. And speaking of mining, Ethereum Classic is committed to the proof-of-work consensus. Even at its fork, Ethereum is making moves to switch to the proof-of-stake consensus model. After Ethereum moved to proof-of-stake, Ethereum Classic has become the only smart contract-compatible blockchain that still uses proof-of-work. The Ethereum Classic community argues that maintaining the proof-of-work consensus model allows them to keep to their goal of decentralization. Theoretically, anyone can become a validator in the proof-of-stake consensus model, but in reality, not everyone can, at least not for Ethereum. That's because the money needed to become a validator can be pretty substantial. On Ethereum, you need about 32 ETH to become a validator. That's almost $100,000. But with proof of work, anyone can mine blocks and get rewarded. Ironically, almost 70% of all Ethereum Classic mining is done by two mining pools. This means that Ethereum Classic is technically more centralized than Ethereum. Thanks for taking the time to watch. We hope you're walking away from this video with a better understanding of Ethereum Classic. To continue to get the latest crypto and blockchain updates and news, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on great videos like these.